Hello everyone, we're here with Wacom at New York Comic Con 2019 and I'm Jason Chatfield and I'm joined today by Picolo. How you doing, Picolo?
I'm good, thank you.
That's good. Now, what are you doing here at Comic Con?
I'm tabling at the Artist Alley, table F10. I'm doing a panel for DC Comics tomorrow.
That's great. So you're a comic artist, you're doing work for, you just had a comic come out for DC Comics. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Teen Titans Raven just came out this July, and it's my very first comic book, which is very exciting. The response was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I have another book coming out next year, which is Teen Titans Beast Boy, which is the book I'm going to talk about tomorrow on my panel.
That's fantastic. So the first title was Teen Titans Raven,
Yes.
and that just came out.
Exactly.
And Teen Titans Beast Boy is the one that's coming out next year, did you say?
Yes.
And that's with DC Comics as well. Now, Teen Titans Raven was your very first DC comic book. Can you talk a little bit about the process? Like, how does someone get to become a comic artist for DC?
I would say it kind of works different for everyone, because my story is I started drawing Teen Titans fan art. I became very well known for my Teen Titans work. I decided to draw them in more casual attire, casual outfits, more of their teenager side, not so much their superhero side.
Yeah.
That went viral online. People loved it, and at some point DC noticed that, and they were like, "Okay, this is nice. Can you do this, but for us?"
Right.
And that's pretty much how I got into DC.
Did they notice you on Instagram or social media, something like that, or did you show them any of your work, or did they just find you organically?
I never pitched it. They noticed. I'm not sure if it was Instagram or Twitter, because I have a really solid social media presence,
Yeah.
and I think that's really important.
Yeah.
But someone at DC, probably someone at the talent department, noticed it, and then my name was on their payroll.
Fantastic. Wow. Okay. We'll talk about the tech stuff. You are a young artist. You're an up-and-coming artist, I would say. You're working digitally,
Yes.
and you're using Wacom products. What Wacom products are you using in your studio?
Right now, I'm using a Mobile Studio Pro, which is my main setup, and I'm trying to change it to a Cintiq Pro 24 inches, and it's being a slow change because I've been used to use mobile setups my whole life, and this is the first time that I got like a huge Cintiq, so it's tough to like handle all the space that I have now.
All that screen real estate, do you find that having all of your palettes and everything on the side and being able to see everything on one screen, do you find that much better than zooming in and out of a small tablet, or do you prefer kind of having something on your lap to work on and make that portable?
It's different. I think that with time, right now I'm still getting used to it,
Yeah.
so it's still kind of clunky. I don't know where to put all the windows, but I think my work will get better because I'm using a bigger screen, because I can notice mistakes easier. Because I'm not the guy who zooms in a lot,
Okay.
so I can notice a lot of mistakes because I have a big screen.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna make a difference on the long run.
Can I ask, when you're working, do you do the thing where you kind of zoom in on an area and work on it and kind of zoom out, or do you try not to do that and try not to use things like the undo button and things like that?
I try not to do that, because whenever I do that, some artists can do it and it looks awesome, but whenever I try to do that, if I zoom in too much and I fix a small detail and then I zoom out, it gets a little bit weird.
Yeah.
I try not to overthink it, because it steals all the life from the drawing. I try to stay with my sketch, my first lines. They are like the most organic, more powerful ones, I think.
And what's your process? Do you work by hand? Do you do pencils by hand? Do you do roughs by hand? Are you thumbnailing in like Clip Studio or Photoshop? Like, what's your actual process for creating a comic book?
At some point, I was doing sketches on Moleskines, like sketchbooks,
Yeah.
and I took pictures and then I moved it to finish them on my tablet.
Right.
But at some point, I started doing everything digitally because it's way faster, and it's kind of a need to be that fast nowadays.
Your output is enormous. Like you are turning around so much art so quickly. Do you find that working digitally is the only way to be able to churn out that amount of work that quickly? Do you think that's something that really helps with your workflow?
I'm not huge on traditional art. I've never been huge on traditional art, so I don't know. I don't have the proficiency to be as fast as I would like to be with traditional art. But you can make that step way faster with digital. Like once you get the hang of the tools, you get the hang of the software that fits your style, your kind of work better.
Yeah.
It just speeds up the process so much, and it's way cheaper too. Because traditional media, you have to keep getting your materials all the time, and like you can get like shitty art supplies, right? With a tablet, you just get it like one time, and then you can keep drawing for a long time.
Right. That's the thing. I mean, renewing pens and ink and brushes.
I can never stand that. Like, I hate it. I hate it.
I'm going to ask you now about any advice that you would have to young artists. You mentioned that you got found on social media. You had a great social media presence on Twitter and Instagram. And where can people find you on Instagram and Twitter, by the way?
Just search me as Picolo and you're going to find me for sure.
Is it _Picolo?
_Picolo, yeah.
At _Picolo.
Type Picolo, you're going to find it.
You'll either find pictures of a small flute or this guy's artwork. All right, so you had a fantastic social media presence. That was effectively your portfolio. It was there. Were there work in progresses that you were posting? Were there finished art? Were they character designs? Was it fan art? What kind of stuff were you posting that got you noticed by DC?
This is an advice I give to everyone, that social media presence was the game changer for me, because I come from Brazil and there's no industry there, there's no art school, so I thought that the way to get jobs for me, okay, I have to post my work online. I gotta get my work out there so the clients can see it. For a long time, I thought that I needed to post work that was interesting for clients, and I was kind of overthinking it. And I think you have to run away from that. You gotta post what you like to do, what you wanna be hired to do. So that was what I did. I was not conscious about it, but that's what I did with the Teen Titans. That was something that I really loved, and I think that showed on the work. And then DC hired me to do exactly that.
You could tell that they saw the passion in what you were doing.
Exactly. I think as long as you have like a twist, something new to add, something new to bring to the table, it's gonna get your work out there. Like it's gonna set you apart from the other artists.
And I find that you have such a unique voice, just visually. Bringing what you are to your artwork is so important, and there's so many fascinating and interesting new artists that are able to bring their spin on some of the oldest characters in Marvel and DC universes that are still so exciting. You sort of think, why didn't I think of that? You know, you just mentioned that it's a really important, and it's to stop drawing what you think people want to see, but draw for yourself. Draw what you love and what you're passionate about, and then let the world in. And also the people who like that will find you. And then the people who don't like that will fall away, and you'll be left with this core of people who love what you're doing.
And at some point, if you're drawing only what people want to see, you will become an entertainer, not an artist. So,
that's a great point.
And I know it sounds cliche, but you gotta like what you're doing before anyone else does.
Yeah. You have to like what you're doing before anyone else does. It's probably the best advice I've ever heard.
It works. It totally works. It's true.
All right. Well, if people want to come and find you this weekend at New York Comic Con, where can they find you?
I'll be all weekend on Artist Alley, table F10.
And you have a panel as well for DC. When is that?
Tomorrow at 1:30 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time today, Picolo. If you want to find Picolo online, it's _Picolo on Twitter or Instagram. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great Comic Con. Cheers.